Dr. Alex Harper stepped cautiously through the dense forest of Larentha, his boots sinking slightly into the soft, glowing moss that carpeted the ground. The air was thick with the scent of strange, sweet-smelling flowers that pulsed faintly with light, and every sound seemed alive. Tiny insects with translucent wings zipped past, leaves whispered as alien breezes passed through the towering trees, and distant, unfamiliar calls echoed like laughter. Alex paused to adjust his scanner, marveling at the alien ecosystem. He had explored many planets, but Larentha felt alive in a way he had never experienced before. He had come to Larentha as part of a human research mission, tasked with studying the planet's flora and fauna. Unlike other expeditions that focused only on resources, Alex's team was interested in learning about the native life, hoping to understand how these creatures thrived in their strange environment. Most of the team had stayed at the base, collecting samples and cataloging plants, but Alex had ventured deeper into the forest, driven by curiosity. That's when he saw her. At first it was just a movement among the glowing ferns, a quick, silent rustle. Alex froze. His heart beat faster, not from fear, but from excitement. Slowly he moved forward, keeping his eyes on the shadow. Then, stepping into a patch of pale light, she appeared. She was no larger than a human child, but her presence was commanding. Her fur was a soft violet, with darker streaks along her back, and her ears, tall and sharply pointed, twitched constantly as if listening to every sound around her. Her eyes were large and golden, reflecting the forest's glow. And they held a spark of intelligence that startled Alex. Her tail swished behind her like a living ribbon, and her small paws ended in delicate, sharp claws. She tilted her head, examining him with a mixture of curiosity and caution. "Hello," Alex said softly, careful not to startle her. He held out a hand slowly, hoping she would understand his peaceful intent. "I'm not here to hurt you. My name is Alex." The Wolfgirl, as he soon realized she was, stepped back and let out a low, cautious growl. Her ears flicked back, and her tail bristled. She was small, but her stance was defensive. Alex smiled gently, lowering his hand. "It's okay. I just want to be friends." She blinked, as if considering his words. Then, with surprising speed, she darted forward, snatched a piece of fruit from the nearby tree, and ran back to a safe distance. Alex watched her, fascinated. The creature was clever, fast, and fearless in her own way, yet wary of him. Over the next hour, Alex tried various approaches. He left small bits of food in clear view, made soft, non-threatening gestures, and even mimicked some of her movements to show he was not a threat. Slowly, she began to relax. She came closer, sniffing the fruit he offered, her golden eyes fixed on him. Finally, Alex took a small risk. He reached out and gently rubbed the top of her head. The Wolfgirl flinched and let out a sharp yip. "Hey, if you rub my ears again, I'll bite you," she said, startling Alex completely. He blinked in disbelief. She had just spoken, though in a language he didn't understand. The tone was clear. She was feisty, stubborn, and not afraid to assert herself. Alex laughed softly. All right. "No more ear-rubbing," he said, holding his hands up. He had expected cautious behavior or growls, not words, tiny or not. Over the next few days, Alex returned to the same clearing, hoping to gain her trust. She introduced herself slowly, in her own way, with gestures, small sounds, and occasional words. He learned that her name was Luma, and though she was small, she had a mind as sharp as any predator in the forest. Alex found himself fascinated not just by her appearance, but by her intelligence. Luma could solve simple puzzles he created with sticks and stones. She learned quickly, even anticipating his moves during games of hide and seek. He realized that she wasn't just clever, she was strategic, capable of planning several steps ahead. One afternoon, Alex was sketching the glowing plants near the river when a sudden rustle in the bushes caught his attention. Before he could react, a massive creature emerged from the shadows. Its skin was covered in thick scales that shimmered like metal, and its many legs moved with a frightening speed. It bared rows of sharp teeth and let out a deafening roar. Alex froze, realizing that alone, he had no chance. But Luma didn't hesitate. She darted forward, agile and fearless, leaping onto the creature's back and biting at its shoulders. It roared again, thrashing violently, but Luma held on. Using her speed and intelligence, she guided the creature into a shallow river where it slipped and tumbled helplessly. Alex watched, awestruck, as this tiny being displayed courage and skill far beyond what its size suggested. When the danger passed, Luma returned to Alex, panting slightly but standing proudly. She flicked her ears back and muttered something that Alex took as a warning to himself. He laughed softly, kneeling down to examine her. "You're incredible," he said. "I've never seen anything like you." As the days passed, Alex and Luma developed a rhythm. She led him to hidden groves filled with rare plants, helped him avoid dangerous predators, and even seemed to enjoy his company in her own way. Alex began to see her as more than a creature to study. She was a companion, a guide, and a friend. He respected her independence, never forcing her to do anything she didn't want to do, and she seemed to respond in kind, slowly allowing him into her world. Their bond grew stronger one morning when a sudden storm swept through the forest. Rain fell in thick sheets, and lightning cracked across the sky. Alex sought shelter under a large tree, but he realized that some of the smaller creatures, including Luma, would be at risk of drowning in the swollen streams. Without hesitation, Luma led him to a hidden cave she knew about. Inside, the ground was dry, and the walls glowed faintly from bioluminescent moss. They waited out the storm together, sharing warmth and comfort. Alex watched her curl up, her ears twitching with every sound outside. He realized then that their friendship was built on mutual trust and respect. One evening, as the twin moons rose over the forest, Alex attempted once more to gently touch her ears. Luma's reaction was immediate. She snapped, "I said if you rub my ears again, I'll bite you." Alex chuckled, holding his hands up in surrender. But he noticed something in her eyes, an unspoken understanding. Despite her warning, she leaned closer to him, letting him sit beside her. It was a small victory, a sign that she trusted him even if she wanted to maintain her independence. Their peaceful moments, however, were not destined to last. From the horizon, Alex noticed glimmers of metal and smoke, signs of a fleet approaching. He knew immediately that these were not friendly explorers. The mining corporation that had once sent ships to Lyrantha had returned, likely intending to exploit the planet's resources. Alex felt a pang of worry, not just for himself, but for Luma and the creatures of the forest. That night, under the glow of the moons, Luma paced restlessly. Her tail lashed behind her, and her ears twitched at every sound. She muttered to herself, words Alex could not fully understand, though the tone was clear. She was angry and protective. When Alex tried to comfort her, she stopped, stared at him, and said, "If they touch my forest, I won't bite. I'll tear them apart." Alex knew she was serious. Luma may be tiny, but she was a force to be reckoned with. He understood then that the planet's survival depended on more than human technology or strength. It depended on understanding, cooperation, and respecting the intelligence of alien life. As the first ships appeared on the horizon, Alex felt a strange sense of hope. Luma's courage and cleverness, combined with his knowledge of biology and strategy, could turn the tide. He also knew that their bond had grown into something more profound than mere companionship. It was a partnership built on mutual respect, trust, and courage. The forest seemed to shimmer with anticipation, as if the trees themselves were holding their breath. Alex looked at Luma, who crouched low, ears flicking, eyes blazing with determination. "Are you ready?" he asked softly. She growled, a sound that was both warning and promise. "I was born ready," she said. "Now let's show them what happens when humans and wolves work together." And with that, the tiny Wolfgirl and the human xenobiologist prepared for the challenge ahead, unaware of how much their courage and cleverness would be tested in the coming days. The story of their friendship, adventure, and triumph was just beginning, and the forest of Larentha held countless surprises, waiting to see how far intelligence, trust, and bravery could carry them. The sun rose over Larentha, casting long golden beams through the tall alien trees. The forest seemed alive with energy, every leaf and vine shimmering as though it sensed the tension in the air. Dr. Alex Harper stood at the edge of a clearing, peering toward the horizon where the mining fleet's ships had anchored. Their metallic hulls glinted ominously, and the low hum of machinery reached even the deepest parts of the forest. He could feel the weight of the coming danger pressing down on him. Beside him, Luma crouched low, her violet fur blending with the shadows. Her ears twitched at every distant sound, her golden eyes focused and sharp. Though she was small, her posture radiated confidence and readiness. Alex admired her courage. She was tiny, but her instincts and intelligence made her a force that even humans had to respect. The fleet began sending out ground vehicles, mechanical walkers designed to cut through the dense forest. Alex watched as enormous machines uprooted trees, steam hissing from their engines. He knew that if they reached the heart of the forest, the delicate ecosystem would be destroyed. The native creatures, the glowing plants, even Luma's hidden shelters would be at risk. He looked at Luma, silently asking her what to do. Luma's tail flicked sharply, and she let out a low growl that sent a shiver down Alex's spine. Though small, her presence felt commanding. She darted forward, moving between the trees with astonishing speed, and then paused, looking back at him as if to say, "Follow me, but stay quiet." Alex nodded, keeping close behind. He had learned that on this planet, survival required patience, observation, and respect for native intelligence. Luma led him to a narrow ravine hidden by thick ferns. From this vantage point, they could see the fleet's progress. The machines were slow and powerful, but they lacked agility. Alex realized this was their advantage. Luma, small and fast, could move through terrain the machines could not. He started planning with her instinctively. Together, they could use the forest itself as a weapon, turning the invaders' strength against them. The first engagement was subtle. Luma darted from one bush to another, creating small distractions. She pulled vines and threw rocks at the machines, causing minor malfunctions and forcing the human crew to investigate. Alex watched with growing admiration. Every move she made was clever, precise, and unexpected. The fleet had underestimated the forest and its guardians. By midday, Luma had gathered a small group of forest creatures. Tiny glowing insects swarmed the machinery, short-circuiting sensors. Larger predators, previously hidden, roared from the shadows, intimidating the miners and forcing them to retreat temporarily. Alex guided them from behind, using his knowledge to predict the machine's weak points and suggest strategies to Luma. It was an extraordinary partnership, human reasoning combined with alien instinct. As the day progressed, the fleet grew more aggressive. They deployed armed mechs designed to capture or eliminate threats. Alex realized that they would have to act decisively. Luma's tail lashed back and forth as she assessed the battlefield. She communicated silently with the creatures around her, coordinating movements with an intelligence Alex could hardly match in humans alone. When the first mech advanced toward them, Luma acted instantly. She leaped onto a low-hanging branch, then sprang onto the mech's back. Alex held his breath as she used her claws and agility to disable a control panel, causing the machine to stumble and fall into a mud pit. The other creatures, inspired by her leadership, swarmed the remaining machines, creating chaos. Alex took the opportunity to remotely hack some of the smaller vehicles, adding to the confusion. The fleet commander realized quickly that their conventional tactics were failing. He ordered more reinforcements, but Alex and Luma anticipated this. They had used the forest to their advantage, setting traps with vines, pitfall traps, and cleverly placed rocks. The machines moved cautiously, but every step seemed predicted. Luma darted from shadow to shadow, biting, scratching, and evading any counterattack with incredible precision. At one point, Alex narrowly avoided being hit by a falling branch when a larger machine attempted to crush him. Luma leaped to his side, growling, and nudged him to move. Her actions were almost human in their understanding and care. Alex realized then that he was not just guiding her, he was learning from her, adapting to her style of thinking, and respecting her instinct as much as his own knowledge. Hours passed, and the sun began to sink behind the trees. The fleet's energy was waning, their machinery damaged, and their morale shaken. Alex and Luma, along with the forest creatures, had turned the forest into an almost impenetrable fortress. Each creature played a role, from small insects causing electronic failures to larger predators blocking paths. Luma's leadership was impeccable. She was tiny, yet her courage inspired every living thing around her. Finally, the fleet retreated, the ships lifting off with a low, grating hum. The forest was silent again, save for the rustle of leaves and distant calls of alien wildlife. Alex exhaled, letting the tension leave his body. He looked at Luma, who was sitting gracefully on a rock, ears flicking and eyes still alert. She had not only defended her home, but also shown him the strength that intelligence, strategy, and courage could bring, even in a small package. Alex approached her slowly, careful not to startle her. "We did it," he said softly. "You were amazing. I don't think the fleet expected anything like this." Luma flicked her ears back, letting out a soft yip that Alex took as a smile. She padded closer, brushing against him lightly. "You didn't do badly either," she said, her tone teasing but sincere. The battle had changed Alex's perspective. He realized that humans were not just strong. They were clever, adaptable, and capable of forming alliances with creatures far stronger or faster than themselves. Luma had shown him the value of trust, respect, and working with those who were different. Together, they had protected a world that many thought was doomed. As night fell, Alex and Luma walked through the forest. The glowing plants lit their path, and the creatures of Larentha seemed to emerge cautiously, sensing safety in the aftermath of the battle. Alex marveled at the harmony between the planet and its guardians. Luma ran ahead, then turned, giving him a playful look. He laughed, feeling a warmth he hadn't expected in such a wild place. "Are you going to keep your promise about the ears?" he asked, smiling. Luma growled playfully, shaking her head. "Maybe a little, but don't try it again," she said. Alex nodded, respecting her boundaries. He had learned something important from her. Respect and trust were as important as skill or bravery. The next few days were spent repairing minor damage and ensuring that the forest's ecosystem returned to balance. Alex documented everything carefully, noting Luma's intelligence, leadership, and tactical thinking. He realized that humanity had much to learn from the creatures they encountered, and that by working together, even the smallest beings could make a difference against overwhelming odds. Alex spent time teaching Luma small human tricks, like using simple tools, while she taught him how to read the subtle signs of the forest, how to know when a storm was coming, how to find hidden paths, and how to sense danger long before it arrived. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day, a partnership built on mutual respect, trust, and admiration. One evening, as they sat together near a glowing pool of water, Alex reflected on everything that had happened. Luma curled up beside him, her tail wrapped around her small body, ears flicking as she listened to the sounds of the forest. He realized that humans were not alone in the galaxy. Intelligence, courage, and loyalty existed in many forms, and the strength of a species was not measured by size or strength alone, but by the heart and mind behind it. Luma yawned, showing sharp but harmless teeth, and looked at him with a playful glint. "I suppose you're not so bad, human," she said softly. "Maybe there's hope for your kind after all." Alex smiled, feeling a deep sense of pride. He had seen humanity's potential firsthand, not through war or conquest, but through courage, empathy, and partnership. As the moons rose high in the sky, casting silver light across the forest, Alex knew that this was only the beginning. Larentha had taught him lessons he would carry for a lifetime. With allies like Luma, humans could face challenges no one else could imagine. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and wonders, and he was ready to meet them all. With courage, intelligence, and friends who would stand by his side, no matter how small or unusual they might be. In the quiet of the forest, with the hum of life all around, Alex whispered to Luma, "Thank you for trusting me." She nudged him gently, her ears twitching, and replied, "And thank you for listening." The bond between human and Wolfgirl had been forged in the heat of battle, tempered by trust and respect, and it would endure whatever challenges the galaxy might throw at them. Together, they had shown that intelligence, bravery, and cooperation could overcome even the greatest obstacles, proving that humanity's greatest strength was not merely its power, but its ability to inspire and be inspired by those around it. The forest of Larentha was safe for now, and in that safety, Alex and Luma found more than victory. They found a friendship that transcended species, size, and expectations, a reminder that even the tiniest voice could roar louder than any machine when guided by courage and heart. And as the twin moons bathed the forest in silver light, Luma gave a soft growl of contentment, and Alex knew that together, they were ready for anything the galaxy might bring next.